Hello, MetaJolt. I just thought I would do a video giving my thoughts on a particular subject that has always bothered me. When I say it's bothered me, I mean in a mild way. I wouldn't say it's anything huge, but it's something that bothers all Irish people. And I thought I'd do a video giving my thoughts on this. And I may do other such videos giving my thoughts on different things in the future if this one turns out to be a success, if people respond to it. But this first video that I'm going to give my thoughts on is on something I like to call Irish Kryptonite. And what I mean by Irish Kryptonite is the thing that is all Irish people's weakness, the thing that really sets us off, that gets under our skin, and that really kind of annoys us, I suppose you could say. And who knows, it may even come in useful someday if you ever get into an argument with an Irish person. I'm telling you what our most profound weakness is, what our kryptonite is. And you might be able to use it to your advantage someday, who knows. But this is basically my thoughts on what I like to call Irish kryptonite. Now, what exactly is Irish kryptonite? What is our weakness? Well, the thing that bugs Irish people more than anything else is when we are mistaken for being British, or any of our celebrities are mistaken for being British. This just drives us nuts. And the simple reason is that we struggled for a very, very long time not to be British. And we finally became not British, in inverted commas, in 1921. So we have been not British for quite some time. And when we are mistaken for being British, we find it very insulting. It kind of implies that Ireland and the Irish are somehow owned by Britain, or at least that's how we perceive it. So this is something that really sticks in our craw, I suppose you might say. And there are numerous examples of this in the media. This is where I notice it the most. In TV shows and in films, the Irish are often mislabeled as being British. And every time I see it, it is never any less annoying or irritating than the previous time I have seen it. So what I would like to do in this video is to show people various examples of how the Irish have been mislabeled or misrepresented as British, or on certain occasions even English, on television and in film. And I have to admit, it has mostly been in American television and film for some reason, but there you go. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples of this, just to show you how this mistake is quite often made, and then maybe discuss just for a little bit why we find this, and by we I mean Irish people, of course, find this so bothersome and so annoying. Now, this is in no way intended to be an insult to our British friends and neighbours across the water. It's just, when you are a sovereign nation, you don't like being mistaken for being part of another country, and that's all it is. So I'll go through a series of clips that I've picked out, and I'll discuss them, and I would love to get your thoughts if you're interested in responding, that is. So here goes. These are my thoughts on Irish kryptonite. Okay. So in this first clip of Bono and The Edge from U2, on NBC from the 80s when they were just beginning to break into the American market. The interviewer mistakenly assumes that they're a British band. I don't know why he makes that assumption. Now, in fairness, it's often easy when you're a small country to be overshadowed by your larger neighbour. I get it, that's understandable, that happens. But the assumption is made nonetheless, and Bono and The Edge have to correct the interviewer by telling them that they're Irish.
A lot of bands come over from Great Britain. I don't have to go
Ireland.
through. Okay, now this is a band from Ireland. It's the first one in my memory that has come over here with the advanced publicity and has been received as well as you have been here.
In this clip, Pierce Brosnan appears on The Tonight Show around the time that his first Bond movie, GoldenEye, had come out. And despite mentioning on more than one occasion during the course of the interview that he's Irish, Jay Leno still can't seem to get his nationality right. And while Brosnan is telling a story about a movie that he saw as a child, Leno responds by saying, "You English love that." So not only did he mistake him for being British, Leno mistook Brosnan for being English on this occasion.
Well, can you imagine what it was like for a young Irish Catholic lad, you know, who was an altar boy and brought up by the Christian Brothers, beaten up by them more like it, but, you know,
Now, as a kid, were you an action hero fan? I mean, did you go religiously to the Bond films?
No, I grew up in Ireland. I grew
I
up
know
in a
that.
small country town in Southern Ireland, County Meath, and there was one little cinema, and I grew up on a diet of, there was a movie called Old Mother Riley. Old Mother Riley Films was a Scottish comedian who dressed up as a grandmother. He was a cross-dresser.
The English.
And I wanted to be one of...
This next clip I had to take with my phone while pointing it at the TV because I just couldn't find this clip anywhere on YouTube, so I apologize for the poor quality. But it's taken from a clip of an episode of Star Trek The Next Generation on Netflix as I'm holding my phone pointed at the television. And it's from an episode called Ship in a Bottle, where Captain Picard is talking to a holodeck character called Moriarty. Now, this is the same Moriarty that appears in Sherlock Holmes novels as the main villain or antagonist to Sherlock Holmes. Long story short, the actor playing Moriarty refers to himself as a fictional character created by an Englishman, which is once again wrong, because the author of the Sherlock Holmes novels, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, was in fact Irish. Or technically he was Scottish, but he was born to Irish parents in Scotland.
Professor, I feel it necessary to point out that criminal behavior is as unacceptable in the 24th century as it was in the 19th, and very much harder to get away with.
Don't worry, Captain. My past is nothing but a fiction. The scribblings of an Englishman dead now for 4 centuries. I hope to leave his books on the shelf, as it were.
In this clip, conservative talk show host Glenn Beck is discussing the Irish playwright George Bernard Shaw with a guest that he has introduced as an expert on George Bernard Shaw. What's annoying about this clip is that Glenn Beck mistakenly refers to Shaw as English, and even more annoyingly, his guest, who professes to be an expert on Shaw, doesn't correct him.
Here's what I find amazing. Here's a guy, Fabian Socialist, would you say European or English progressive? Oh, sure. Hero of the progressive left. Western left, yeah, okay.
This next clip is actually quite astonishing because it's an interview on CNBC with Martin Shanahan, the CEO of IDA Ireland, discussing in foreign investment into Ireland. During the course of the interview, one of the interviewers on the panel cannot get his head around the fact that Ireland uses the euro as its currency, believing, as he did, that Ireland used the British pound. Shanahan then has to explain to this so-called financial expert why it is Ireland uses the euro rather than the British pound, and has to go into detail explaining that Ireland is a separate country from the United Kingdom.
Best country for doing business, and Ireland having what could be its best year ever for foreign direct investment. Plus, a number of top-tier businesses making a home in Ireland thanks to big tax breaks and a highly pro-business environment. Joe, you'd love Ireland. Here to tell us what he's seeing, Martin Shanahan, CEO of IDA Ireland, responsible for foreign direct investment in Ireland. He just took up the post in September, so we should congratulate you on that.
Thank you very much.
What has the weaker euro meant in terms of tourism?
Yes, so I think Ireland's a very globalized economy, so we look to what's happening here as much as we do to what's happening in Europe, and we look to what's happening in growth.
You have pounds anyway, don't you, still?
We have euros.
You have euros in Ireland?
Euros, yes, which has...
Why you have euros in Ireland?
A strong recovery. Why wouldn't we have euros in Ireland?
Huh?
How do the EU?
I'd use the pound.
No, we've had the euro for some time, and we're very happy with it.
What about Scotland? I was using Scottish...
Scottish pounds. Yeah,
Scottish pounds.
So they use sterling.
They use sterling?
They use sterling, but we use euro.
What? Why would you do that?
Why wouldn't we do that?
Why didn't Scotland? No wonder they want to break
the
away.
UK, we're not.
Aren't you right next to...
We're very close, but entirely separate. As
sort of the same island, isn't it?
And in the north of Ireland, they have sterling. But
they do?
We use euro, yes.
It's just too
But
confusing.
has it helped to draw people over with a weaker euro?
Yes, I think it has. Tourism numbers have been extraordinarily strong actually this year, but particularly from North America. So it's a nice place to come and visit. And I think that's we have some key attractors.
Northern Ireland's the pound.
Northern Ireland's the pound, yes.
Oh my God, you guys got to get it together over there.
We got to come over, hang out. You were just there. So.
I was in Scotland.
Oh, you were in Scotland, right?
Yeah,
absolutely. I would encourage you to visit. We can show you. I think
breaking away.
It makes no sense.
Firms in particular come.
I thought Northern Ireland want to get away from the.
Yeah, they want to go with them.
I don't know. That's too confusing. Northern Ireland should be the one not using the pound.
I'm not sure I follow your logic entirely.
Because they wanted to break away like Scotland. Yeah, I don't know.
This last clip is a rare example of where someone finally gets it right and actually gives us credit for something for once. I don't know if that's because the film was directed by an Irish director, Neil Jordan, but in this scene from Interview with the Vampire, Christian Slater is asking Brad Pitt's character about Dracula. And Brad Pitt does mention the fact that Dracula was written by an Irishman, which of course was Bram Stoker. However, he does go on to refer to Bram Stoker's Dracula as the vulgar ramblings of a demented Irishman. But at this point, I think I'll just take it.
You found nothing? Peasant rumors, superstitions about garlic, crosses, the old stake in the heart. But one of our kind? Not a whisper. So there are no vampires in Transylvania, no Count Dracula? Fictions, my friend. The vulgar fictions of a demented Irishman.
So there you go, guys. Am I overreacting? Am I making a mountain out of a molehill? I don't know. maybe I am. But that, in a nutshell, is Irish Kryptonite. So tell me what you think. If you have any thoughts you'd like to share in the comments. It's something that Irish people do find annoying. So if you think we should maybe get over it and get over ourselves, by all means tell me. But if you think I've got a point to make, well, you can tell me that too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you around.